This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. I don't know that I'll ever get used to the lack of talent, intellectual acuity, ability on the right, especially among media figures. Sean Hannity last night had Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, my former governor. I no longer live in California, but for years, he was my governor. He had him on the show. And it seems to me at odds with self-preservation, at the very least, that you would have someone who can dominate you intellectually, who can dominate you relative to the recall of facts and data and statistics. And that's exactly what happened last night on Hannity's little show on Fox News with Gavin Newsom. They're talking about the economy, and I don't know if Hannity is just hypnotized by his own bullshit, if he is convinced by his own echo chamber that he is going to be able to handle Gavin Newsom in some pugilistic manner. It didn't happen. Hannity got absolutely wrecked on his own show, just dominated with the use of what the facts are related to the Biden economy. Watch this first one where they're talking about inflation. Look, we all know that inflation has been a sore spot over the course of the last two and a half years. Coming out of COVID, and a lot of this can be chalked up to some market forces, but a lot of it can be chalked up to greedy corporations who are padding their bottom lines by jacking up prices. Items they're not affected by supply chain issues and general inflationary metrics across the board are being passed on to you, the buyer. And Republicans have run with this. They've gone crazy talking about inflation as though the global inflation problem is Joe Biden's fault. The fact that there's inflation in France and Britain and all across the EU, all across the globe, is Joe Biden's fault. Now, dum-dums in the Republican Party, the idiots who printed up the "I did that" stickers that they put on gas pumps all across the country, they buy it because they are low information. They are bamboozled by bullshit, and they ran with it. And Sean Hannity has been a purveyor of this nonsense. And then when he gets Gavin Newsom on his show in front of him, he thinks that the propaganda is gonna bamboozle Gavin Newsom, and it did not work. Watch this.
Question.
I'm answering the ones in order. You brought up the economy. On the economy, let's talk about the economy.
You want to give him an A?
Inflation, stubborn around the globe. Let's talk about inflation. It's down 40% since last summer, 10 months in a row, 4.9%. He was just with the UK Prime Minister at 6.9%. Is that because of Biden's
I think
Fed
Biden's
policy?
Economic and energy policies
Directly impacted the UK's inflation?
No, I am
Or the
telling
fact that France is 5.5% or Germany's at 6.1%? On inflation, we're moving in the right direction. On the issue of the border security,
he inherited 1.4% inflation. It went up to a 40-year high after 40-year high.
Globally, because you just brought up, you were making an excuse for Trump's dismal jobs record related to COVID.
It wasn't a
but you
dismal
won't acknowledge
jobs record.
COVID's relationship to inflation globally. And by the way, COVID and immigration impacting our inflation.
Let me stop you. All right, so...
Let me stop you. This is devastating to my propaganda outlet. I cannot have this. You need to be quiet. Let me talk some other things. Let me jingle some keys for the low information audience to get distracted by. That's what you just witnessed. It is either, to me, I mean, there's probably other factors at play here, but it seems to me it's either he's so dumb, it's Dunning-Kruger in full effect. He believes that he's got a stranglehold on what the situation is, or he believes his audience is so stupid that they'll buy anything. Because by any metric, by any calculation, by any standard, Sean Hannity just got worked by Gavin Newsom. with just the basics. They didn't even get to drill down into higher level economic theory or anything. And then the conversation you saw it start drifting toward jobs, toward unemployment. And Sean Hannity believes that Joe Biden is a failure on this mark too. And again, like a kindergartner walking into a heavyweight bout, Sean Hannity gets pummeled by Gavin Newsom.
For our president, I have great confidence in his leadership.
I don't want him to fail.
Been able to accomplish.
I think his policies are failing.
CHIPS Act, Science Act, do you oppose that?
I will tell you on every measure, from the economy, inflation, borders, energy, national security, he's missing in action.
Let's talk about them in order.
Hang on.
I want to challenge the premise. You said the economy, 13.1 million jobs he's created. More.
These are post-COVID jobs. Okay. You know that. That's an artificial number.
No. Then let me stipulate this as an opportunity to engage civilly on this.
Okay.
Fair point. Your president, Donald Trump, lost 2.6 million jobs during his 4 years. We've created 13.1 million. Fine, you can maintain a COVID frame. How about the fact that Joe Biden's created more jobs, 6 times more jobs than the previous 3 Republican presidents combined?
Are you going to tell me
Sean,
that the average family, where we have 2/3 of Americans now living paycheck to paycheck,
it was 70% under Trump? That was 70%. It was 70% under Donald Trump.
Pre-COVID, we had the lowest unemployment rate for every demographic.
We have the lowest black unemployment in history, and you and I are living with the lowest unemployment in our lifetime, Sean.
We had it for every demographic, and the economy was
black unemployment's record low under Joe Biden.
Okay. We had historic low after historic low under Donald Trump.
I mean, but he's
what I don't want to have
Trump's clock, Biden, in terms of the progress in job creation. Look at what he's done on jobs.
What would you grade?
I mean, it's self-immolation at this point. It is masochistic on the part of Sean Hannity to allow this to take place on his own program. 6 times more jobs were created by Joe Biden than under the previous 3 Republican presidents combined. And Sean Hannity wants to talk about, at the time, record unemployment for the different demographics and record general unemployment, when the numbers now are lower than they were then. Yeah, there were records then, but now they're records. They've beaten that record. It's like being an Olympic athlete who runs the best 100-meter time in 1950 and continuing to talk about how you were the fastest, or you are the fastest, that is the record, when it's not. I don't get it. But this is the level of talent, the level of ability, and the level of dealing with facts that the Republican Party, this is the standard bearer, is Sean Hannity. Now that Tucker Carlson, the white supremacist wonderkin, is gone, now it's Sean Hannity. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think about this. Did you watch this? If you're a Hannity fan out there, I don't know that there's super a big number of you out there, but if you're watching, I'd love to know what your takeaway was from this. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, as always, absolutely, daily at Dollemore.com. If you have not subscribed to this show, to this channel, please do. I am trying to get to 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and it's only with your help that I'm going to be able to do it. If you want to help support my work, click the join button below, become a channel member, click the super thanks button below. You can support that way, or go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Follow me on social media. I'll see you there. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.